All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video. If you are new to our channel, my name is Ralli Roots, and myself, my wife Allison, and our good friend Callie, the three of us run an online reselling business. So we buy stuff for one price and then we mark it up a little bit and we sell it on places like eBay for more money. We've been doing this full time for over 8 years now, and it's how we make a living. So if you like videos about reselling, how to sell stuff online, consider subscribing to the channel. But today's video is a little bit different than the normal videos that we put out on YouTube. This is a series that I've been calling my Car Chronicles series. Whenever I have like a lengthy drive, which today I'm driving 30 minutes, so I figured I would turn the camera on, and it's almost like a podcast style video, so you don't necessarily have to watch me. You can just listen to it in the background. But I kind of like to discuss things that I want to talk about, that I'm like hearing in the community, in the reselling community, or just in the general public. Things that I think are interesting, that get a conversation started. And it's almost like my diary too. So I can talk about these things with y'all and hopefully start a conversation. So in today's video, I want to talk about, why do people hate us? And when I say us, I mean resellers in general. And I've noticed it more and more over the past couple years, and I think that it has a lot to do with short form content coming out. There's a lot of TikTok videos and YouTube shorts and Instagram reels where you have resellers kind of showing a 10-20 second clip of their day. It's like, I went into a Goodwill thrift store, I found this pair of shoes for $20. I sold it on eBay for $200. Look at me, in a very short form content. And a lot of those videos have been going outside of the reseller community and hitting the general public. And the general public looks at those videos, and some people are going, these guys suck. Especially, like I said, on short form content. Sometimes it's overwhelmingly negative towards the reseller. So with that being said, I wanted to talk about, why is there hate out there for resellers, and do I think that it's warranted? Which, spoiler alert, I do think it's warranted in some cases. I think there's legitimate reasons why resellers are getting hate, and I wanted to talk about the reasons why I think resellers get hate. And maybe, if you can help address some of these in the comment section as well, that'll be cool. If you have other reasons why that you want to talk about in the comment section, that's what this type of video is for, to start a conversation and kind of talk it through. So the first reason I want to address, and again, this goes back to the general public, why do resellers get hate? I think the first one is a lack of understanding from the general public on how large thrift stores work. Now, this is not directed towards like smaller mom and pop size thrift stores, or let's say op shops in the UK do things differently. Some stores in like Australia do things differently. I'm talking about larger thrift stores in the USA, stores like Goodwill, stores like Salvation Army, stores like Savers. Specifically though, Goodwill, because I would say 70% of the reseller content out there going to thrift stores is going to be about Goodwill, because they are the biggest thrift store type chain in the USA. And when I say there's a lack of understanding, it's not the general public's fault that there's a lack of understanding. I think it's more like, as resellers, we get like locked into our little bubble, a little reseller bubble world, and we just think that everyone knows how Goodwill works. But in reality, like, you got to step back and go, if I'm not a reseller, I don't know anything about flipping stuff online, and I see someone go into a Goodwill, take a cheap item, clothing item, and sell it for more money online, I could look at that and go, that's an issue, right? It looks like you're taking stuff from the needy. If I don't know any better, and Goodwill's said for years and years, or I think for years and years that Goodwill said that they supply cheaper, more affordable clothing for the less fortunate. And now you have this person going in and profiting off that, taking that away from the less fortunate and profiting off it to make a buck. It does look pretty evil when you think of it that way, and when that person has no, understanding of how that Goodwill works. Yeah, that totally makes sense of why that reseller would get hate. When in reality, the way that thrift stores like Goodwill work is their mission has never been to provide low priced items to the needy. Their mission has always been to provide jobs to people who need employment. And how they provide jobs is by making as much money as they possibly can and then using that revenue to create jobs and hire people. That's been their mission forever. So that's also one of the reasons why thrift stores like Goodwill have raised their prices, because their job is to make money, to make more money, to help employ people. So when a reseller goes into a Goodwill store and buys something for, $10 and sells it for $100, could that Goodwill have done it themselves, sold that online? Yeah, they probably could have, and some of them do. Some of them have started to do that more and more. But is that reseller taking that $10 item away from the less fortunate? No, because that item was never meant by Goodwill. This is just Goodwill and some of the other large thrift stores. That item was never meant for a cheaper item for the needy. It was meant to sell for $10, so Goodwill could take that $10 and use it for their actual mission, which is to provide employment. I don't agree with resellers getting hate for going into thrift stores, larger thrift stores, and buying stuff for a profit and flipping it online. I don't agree with the hate for resellers on that. I just think it's a lack of understanding in the marketplace. So hopefully, the more videos there are like this, the more the general public will become aware that Goodwill isn't about providing items for the needy at a lower fee. Goodwill is about making money so they can use that money to help their actual mission, which is providing employment. So the second reason I think resellers have been getting a lot of hate lately is because of social media. Going back to those short form type content, not just going to Goodwills, but the one in particular that I want to address, because it's big in our personal, little industry in vintage. There's this thing called the off the back challenge, where people are going up to, people in public and buying the shirt off of their back. I've seen it done to homeless people. I've seen it done to, elderly people in a grocery store. I've seen the off the back challenge done a lot. Now here's my opinion on the situation. When it's done in a respectful manner and done well, I think it's totally fine. If you see someone wearing a shirt that's worth $200 and it's worth $200, and you go up to them and you offer them $100 for it, I don't really see anything wrong with that. If they're happy to take that $100, it's just like any other transaction. Where it becomes an issue to me is when people go on social media and they're bragging about taking a shirt off the back of a homeless person that they know is worth $1,000. And there's a lot of videos like this. This is why I'm getting kind of annoyed about this. There's a lot of videos like this. They'll go in and take advantage of someone who is already in a dire situation, who they know how much the shirt is worth. They know it's worth $1,000, and they'll offer them like $20, or they won't even offer them any money. They'll be like, hey, I have a clean shirt that I'll trade you for the shirt that you have on. That has literally happened. I actually know someone who did that and then bragged about it to me and on social media. And I was like, dude, that's messed up. That's so messed up. You have an opportunity to help that person in a genuine way. Like, that shirt is worth so much money. Why don't you sell it for them and then give them the money? Or at least give them a portion of the money. An actual portion of the money, not $10, $20. So yeah, I think that when that happens, when people are doing these off the back challenges and just straight ripping people off, I do have an issue with that. I think it makes all resellers look bad, especially vintage resellers. It makes us look really bad. So if you're going to do something like that, at least be fair. You know what I mean? What that's worth. Offer them a legitimate offer. Don't try to take advantage of someone who doesn't know the market, especially someone who's homeless and really could use that money. So the reseller hate that comes from videos like that, I'm all for. Hate away on those videos, because those people should get hate. And if you're making videos like that, hate from Florida. So the next thing that I want to talk about and address, and one of the reasons why I think resellers get hate, is there's a lot of people. It's not so much in the eBay world. It's mostly in the Amazon world. But I'm sure you've seen the ads before some of our videos where, it's a guy standing in front of a mansion that he probably rented for the day with his Lamborghinis that he probably rented for the day to film this video to show a lifestyle that isn't real, to sell a course. There's a lot of that in the reselling community, unfortunately. And, you know, those ads, like 95% of that it is just fake. It's inflated numbers. You know, they're showing $1 million in revenue and probably spent $999,000 to make that $1 million. So just be aware of that, you know. And I think that's another reason why resellers get hate. And I know I can see the comments coming. I know that it's a bit hypocritical of me to say that, because we have a group. You know, we have a paid group where people pay us a monthly fee to be in our group, to have access to a Discord channel where we talk about reselling 24/7. And like, I'm on my way up to the warehouse to do a live Zoom call with our group today, and I'm going to talk about how to find local liquidation to flip online. But I think that's a little bit different because it has substance, and we're very open with our numbers, and we try to be very transparent with what we do. Like, if we make $1 million in gross revenue, I'm not coming on here and saying we made $1 million in gross revenue. I'm going to come here and say we had cost of goods, we had expenses, we might have made a net profit of 30% on that money. And that's the reality. And I think, you know, most of these people selling courses are not actually resellers, or maybe they did it for a little bit and didn't really, you know, don't really understand what they're talking about. And they're selling a course. They're making advertisements because they make money from selling a course, where there are really good resellers giving out good information, like us, that have been doing this for 8 years, and we make the majority of our money from reselling, not from YouTube, not from courses. We are mainly making our income from reselling. But that's another reason why you know, resellers can get hate, is if you have someone charging $3,000-4,000 for an Amazon course, and then someone takes that course, spends that money, and they don't get any real value out of it, no real benefit, that obviously can cause some hate in the marketplace. And then, speaking of reseller on reseller hate, I think that one thing that I do want to address is, do resellers, YouTubers like us, do we have an effect on the marketplace, causing more competition and prices to increase at thrift stores? And I think that if you had asked me this question 6 years ago, I probably would have immediately, my ego would have hit you with this response like, no, we don't have any effect on the market, and, you know, whatever, it's just thrift stores doing what they do. And now I think that, taking a step back and thinking about it, you really can't deny that online presence, and you know, not just YouTube videos, but short form, TikTok, you know, all the reseller content out there, not just us, but in the grand scope of things, as a reseller content creator, you can't just say you've had no effect on that happening. I think we have a little bit of blame to take, for sure, especially when it comes to, you know, particular products. Like, if people are going and finding something at Target that's one particular item for $15 or whatever, then that they can flip on Amazon for $100, and then they're telling everybody about that product, and then that ruins the price on that product. Obviously, that is having an effect on the marketplace. Now, us going to thrift stores and buying stuff, you know, that you can find at any thrift store and sell online, or maybe find at any thrift store and sell online, does that have a direct effect on the marketplace? I'm not totally sure. I mean, definitely Goodwill employees will watch some of these videos and get an idea of what brands are selling for and what brands to increase prices on. Yeah, that is for sure happening. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, we're not a gigantic channel. We only have 30,000 subscribers. Our videos don't get millions of views. But I think altogether, as a collective, all of the reseller content creators as a collective, we're all getting millions of views together. And yes, that can have an impact on thrift stores raising prices. So now when people say that to me, I don't automatically get defensive, because I think that, yeah, we definitely have had a little impact on that, you know, on that happening. But the way that I see things, and the reason why we continue to make videos about reselling and showing people stuff to flip online, is I think in the grand scheme of things, we have had, in the 8+ years that we've been making videos on YouTube, I think that we've had a much more of a positive impact than a negative impact, because we have people all the time leaving comments, sending us handwritten notes, sending us Instagram messages, telling us, like, with this side hustle, with flipping stuff online, they've been able to, you know, pay their bills easier. They've been able to save up for their kids' college. They've been able to take a little vacation that they wouldn't have been able to take before reselling. You know, they've been able to cover their car payment and just make their lives a little bit easier. And I think that overall, 90+% of our comments are positive because we've been able to help people do that. So yes, have the thrift store prices raised a little bit over the years, in part due to content creators like us making YouTube videos? Yeah, I think we are a little bit to blame there. But I think the overall positive impact has been, you know, greater than that negative effect. But speaking more about what I kind of said earlier, people going to like Target and buying an item and selling it for more money online. That's another reason why I think resellers get hate, is price gouging and scalping, especially around the holiday times, like going into a Target or whatever and buying video games, you know, buying out all of the video games, or buying out all of the PlayStations, or what really does bother me is resellers that'll go into a store, retail store around the holiday time and buy out all of the toys, like so that parents can't get that toy for $40. Now they have to go on Amazon and buy it for $250, or go on eBay and buy it for whatever. That is definitely scalping, definitely price gouging, and I don't like that. Do what you want, obviously. But from a moral side, for me personally, I don't like that. I don't think that it's good. If you want to buy one or two and price gouge and flip it, then whatever. But to clear out like all of the inventory and then show that on social media and brag about it on social media, it's just cringy to me. I don't like it. I think it really gives resellers a bad name when that's happening around the holiday times, and you'll see in Facebook groups parents posting like, these resellers suck, they're taking all of the inventory, we can't even buy it. You know, like people are going crazy selling Stanley cups that they bought for $50 for $250, or again, toys and video games and stuff like that. And especially tickets. Concert tickets has been a crazy thing recently, like Taylor Swift tickets, people buying them and then reselling them for like 200-300 times the cost of the ticket. I don't like that. Whatever, do what you want to do. A lot of people do it, and, you know, go make your money, I guess. But I think that is a big reason why resellers get hate in the marketplace, is because of price gougers and scalpers. And I just think there's better ways to make money as a reseller, more ethical ways to make money as a reseller. And then the last reason why I'll share, I think resellers get a lot of hate, is because of selling fake goods. And when I say fake, I'm not talking about like bootleg t-shirts from the 90s. Those are, you know, those are fine, those are collectible. I'm talking about like selling fake luxury goods like Louis Vuitton, or fake Lululemon, or going on like Alibaba and buying a bunch of fake Yeti cups and trying to sell those. And you see it a lot on live selling websites or live selling apps where people are selling blatantly fake items, and they're getting called out for it more and more, which I think is good. I think those people should get called out for it. Obviously, there's times where, you know, you buy one or two things and you're not totally sure if it's authentic or not. I mean, we've sold fake items before not knowing that they weren't authentic because we didn't do our due diligence to make sure that they were authentic, and that is 100% on us. Full blame taken for doing something like that. But like, if you're buying 500 of something that you know is fake, like you're buying it not from an authorized dealer, you know that it's a fake item, and then you're turning around and selling it as authentic, that gives resellers a really bad name. Because think about it, if I'm selling a fake Lululemon belt bag and I sell 100 of those, and then those people are walking around wearing these fake bags, and then someone else goes, oh, he points it out and goes, why are you wearing a fake Lululemon bag? And then they go, fake, I paid a lot of money for this. It's real. I bought it from Ralli Roots on whatever app. And then that gives everyone a bad name, because now it goes, oh, that app sells fake goods. That's not good, right? Anybody, all the other resellers selling on that app items like that might get lumped into that same group of selling fake items. So, and you know, eventually you're going to get caught if you're doing that. If you're selling fake items, I mean, there was an example of there was this guy back in the day who was taking like GoPros and then lotting it up together with a bunch of other fake GoPro accessories and selling it together as real GoPro stuff. And guess what? He got banned for doing that because you can only do it for so long and brag about it. He was bragging about it. You can only do that for so long before you get banned in the marketplace, and then you got to find something else to do because that's bad. But there's a lot of people doing that, unfortunately, and you shouldn't. You can make a legitimate income. You can make a legitimate living being an ethical reseller. You don't have to do things that are bad. You can do this the right way. It's harder, it takes a lot more hard work, but it's better in the long run. If you want to do this for the long term and not be an overnight shady grifter, then there's still time to change your ways. That's the other thing too, is that resellers can change what they're doing and become legit overnight, and that's okay. People can change, and if they apologize for what they're doing and they start doing things the right way, then second chances, third chances, you know what I mean? But it's when there's these resellers doing the same thing over and over, starting on one platform, scamming people, going to the next platform, scamming people, that's an issue. Anyway, that's just my opinion, and that's going to give resellers a very bad name. So anyway, guys and girls, I think this is it. This is going to be the end of today's Car Chronicles. Let me know, as always, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I love you guys. I hope you enjoy these, like, just open conversations and me sharing my opinions on stuff. I'm definitely not perfect. I've done a lot of things that I'm not the most proud of in the past, but I've learned from them, and every single day I try to be a better person, and I think that's what matters. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have an awesome week. Love you all, and I will see you on the next one. Later. Bye.